The communists have hit a new low. They're going after Ben Shapiro. Modern Orthodox Jew, Ben Shapiro. Logical, fast-talking. They called him, of course they called him a fascist because, that's what they do. But they said he's coming to campus. He's going to Berkeley on Thursday. So, for anyone who doesn't happen to already know that, he's going to Berkeley on Thursday, hopefully. And they said he's coming to campus to spread ugly fascist views dressed up in slick talking intellectual garb. You know what's hilarious about that is they're calling him a fascist, and I heard the whole talk about what makes somebody a fascist that they did when Ann Coulter came. Now, yes, Ann Coulter is friends with Trump, but, or at least they actually know each other because he called her up and got a copy of her book. But that was their argument, that they know each other, that she's like an agent of the government, which is just crazy because she does not even hold a position in the government, and if we had a fascistic government, we wouldn't have all these Democrats on the lamestream media. Every time you turn around, these Democrats like Pelosi and Feinstein and Chucky Schumer, you wouldn't have these people on the media talking crap about Trump. Keith Ellison, that's another one. There's so many of them. So, obviously, it's ridiculous to anybody who, has actual logical thinking caps. But anyway, this nutbag, Sansara Taylor, you've seen her on my videos. She's the one with the glasses and the super light skin and the dark hair that always talks about things like how she wants to overthrow the government. Yay! No. So anyway, she wrote this piece that they put up on their site, their new site, in the name of humanity! Yeah. So, she said that he dresses his arguments in intellectual garb, but serves this same basic agenda. No, he doesn't serve the basic agenda. In fact, he makes fun of Trump all the time. He likes Trump better than Clinton, but he didn't even vote for either one. He has said, at least twice I've heard him say, I left the top of the ticket blank. So, he argues that campuses are dominated by leftist thugs. They are. But the reality is that the country as a whole, and the campus in particular, are increasingly coming under assault by the fascists in power. No, because there's several local government officials who are leftists, and what they are calling a fascist is anybody who's right of Stalin. Well, I guess, we have some leftists who are actual Democrats instead of communists, so I guess they would consider them fascistic because, anyone to the right of Stalin is a fascist, according to them, although I think fascism is pretty darn close to communism. They both seek all kinds of control and no democracy, and I could go on. And they're both dictatorships. We don't have a dictatorship. We don't have fascism because we don't have a dictatorship. We have a democracy. 60-some odd million people voted for Donald Trump. I was one of them. So, moving on, she says, Shapiro is part of this assault. He mocked Trayvon Martin. Yeah, and argues that poverty among black people is the result of black culture. Exactly. It is. It's bad culture. mostly, he argues that the decline of two-parent homes, particularly in the black community, had a lot to do with its downfall. I don't think this is a ridiculous notion. So let's see, what else does Shapiro say that she acts like is terrible? Being transgender is a mental illness. It is. It's called gender dysphoria. It's even in the DSM. The targeting of Berkeley is the service of consolidation of fascism in America. What? Berkeley symbolizes the heroic struggles of the 1960s against white supremacy, patriarchy. Oh, please, the 60s were so far in our rearview mirror, and they're actually more like the government, because they're the ones that are, like, boldly breaking the laws and getting away with it, which is what happened in the 60s, after the schools were decried that they were supposed to desegregate. It was I think they were left-wing politicians then too. The governor of Arkansas basically refused, and they had to send in the National Guard to force the schools to desegregate. And then he even played, the governor back in the 60s, he even played games by closing the school for a year. Yeah, how many people know that? America, right or wrong? Reversing these verdicts and gaining a foothold at Cale would mark a major leap in the consolidation of fascism in society. There's no fascism. Oh my, you can't. Fascism is a dictatorship. We don't have a dictatorship. We have a three-part checks and balances government. Three-part. Tons of Democrats in the House and in the Senate. Some of those Republicans are really Democrats too. Like Paul Ryan. But that's a whole nother video. On another level, Cale has become a flashpoint, blah blah. This must not be allowed. Campuses must become fascist-free zones. They already are. And let's see. This is a very long article that she wrote, and I'm going to link it. They're going to have a talk. Oh yes, 7 p.m. Pacific time, from 7 to 9:30 tonight in Berkeley. And they're going to talk about, is it right to shut them down? Well, she thinks it's right. And the importance of the clash of opposing ideals and the meaning of the First Amendment. Lady, you do not know what the First Amendment is. Basically, it's going to be the same basic talk that she gave regarding Ann Coulter. So, I hope they put it online, because then I'll watch it and give you guys some excerpts. I'm going to give you guys some sort of access to all of this information, and you can read all of it for yourself. Most of it is just the usual dramatic, hyper drama queenery that you get out of these people. So, like, they did a flyer, and apparently they're planning on hitting Sproul Plaza on Thursday to make a big stink. So, hopefully some of the YouTubers that I watch will be live streaming whatever goes down. Hopefully they will be safe. And then I will be able to digest it and report it out to you, my viewers. Don't forget to subscribe. Tell everybody how awesome I am.